You're listening to the Morning Drive podcast from Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3, recapping the night that was in the world of sports.
A little bit later on tonight, we'll have the Astros and the Diamondbacks. That'll be at 8. And then the Rangers playing at Seattle tonight.
And also bringing some humor to your day.
Was it pretty big?
Yeah, I mean,
it's impressive.
Yeah.
Was it fascinating?
I thought it was fascinating. It kind of smelled, but I mean.
Hear the show live weekday mornings at 6 on Double T 97.3 or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.
Nice little dreary, chilly, rainy kind of morning this morning. Hope you're off to a good start. Jamie's off to a good start on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. I agree with Jamie. I feel like he, in talking about Justin Verlander, is living in the moment and loving this experience. If you watched any of the playoff games, he was one of the biggest cheerleaders in the dugout when he wasn't on the mound. Okay. So, game 1 of the World Series tonight. You think Houston in 6, right?
Yes.
Okay. Jeff, do you have
I think the Phillies are a good team. I think their starting pitching is really good. Obviously, they've got some big bats that are really swinging it well right now. I think the bullpen could be huge in this series. I just think the Stros is a little bit better.
Yeah, I've got Astros in 5 in this.
But as a Houstonian, you're not. Was not your boyhood team, right?
No.
Yeah.
Well, it was very, very early, and then Bo Jackson happened. I don't root against the Astros. Like, I'm not anti-Astros in any way, shape, or form, but I would not classify them as my team.
Okay. All right. Do we have any true lifelong Astros fans in our midst, in our bunch, in our group, in our cadre of fine broadcasters here on these?
Well, other than the Cubs, Aaron Dickens.
Isn't Dickens?
Yeah, Dickens is Houstonian.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we have anybody else from Houston here right now.
Okay. Pretty much it. Last night in the NFL, week number 8 got underway. It's not looking so good for Tom Brady. 27-22, Baltimore wins last night over Tampa Bay. I don't know if anybody's really going to just weep any tears for Tom Brady. He's had a pretty good run, but they fall to 3-5 on the year, and boy, it could be worse for them. I think they've lost I think it's like 3 of their last 4. So it's crazy when you think about last year and playoff team and how good Brady was, and then you look at this year and go, man, it's just not very good. They've lost 5 of their last 6 and 3 in a row.
Yikes!
I know.
They just don't look good offensively.
No, they really do not. And this was kind of an ugly game early on. I kind of just lurked at it. I didn't watch it, but it just seemed like didn't seem like it had any oomph to it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for oomph. I'm looking for oomph. when I'm looking at that, especially a game that you got to go to some effort to get. Ravens got 14 points in the third quarter and 10 in the fourth, so it was 10-3 at the half. Bucks did get 12 in the fourth quarter to make a bit of a game of it, although they scored a touchdown with 49 seconds left to make the score maybe a little bit closer than the game really indicated. Okay. So Cowboys will be in action on Sunday. They'll take on the Chicago Bears. It's a noon kick from Arlington. We'll have it for you at 11. And then Cowboys look to take down the Bears, who are coming off of a win. Cowboys also coming off of a win. And so, man, I just wonder. I wonder about Dak this week, if we see a better bounce back from him. If he looks more fluid, or if he looks more on target.
Yeah, I'm sure another week of practice and the actual game time there will. I'm sure that'll make him a little bit less rusty, so to speak. So I think it's fair to have expectations of him playing a little bit better than he did last week.
Yeah, I mean the NFC is just wide open right now, and so It's not like you got Philly that's at 6-0. You got Minnesota that's at 5-1. Kind of feel like Philly will kind of come back to the pack a little bit. The Giants are 6-1. That NFC East. Crazy to say this, but it may be the best division in the NFC.
They definitely have the best records.
Yeah. Now, do they have the best teams? I mean, the West is going to say, well, look at Seattle, look at the Rams, defending champions, look at the 49ers, and then the Cardinals.
I think it's fair to say it's the East. I don't know how sold I am on either of the two teams right there at the top.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's fair, too.
Well, three, really, because include the Giants there, too.
Yeah. So you were saying that you were including the Cowboys.
I was including the Cowboys, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how sold I am.
Man, I'm really okay. Well, I'll tell you what I'm sold on with the Cowboys. I'm really sold on the Cowboys defense.
Yeah, and you know what? Defense wins championships, and defense wins games in the postseason, and all that good stuff. So, and I think the Eagles' defense is shown to be pretty good too. And then they add a big time pass rusher this week as well in a trade with the Bears. That's fair, and it's not as if the Giants are winning with high scoring, high flying offense either. They're winning with defense as well.
Yeah, and
so maybe we should give the NFC East more credit.
And it's interesting because and clearly he was not working out for him because they would have hung on to him if he had been. So you kind of wonder, are the Chiefs getting some, baggage here with wide receiver Kadarius Toney because the Giants traded him for 2 draft picks, and so you kind of look at that and go, well, that's kind of interesting when a team at 6-1 trades a receiver. So,
guess they had depth,
or it didn't work out. This from the ESPN article that he never seemed to be on solid ground with the new regime and Coach Brian Daboll and the new GM. So other teams were under the impression that you could get him for the right price in the offseason, even though they said they never shopped him. And at this point in time, here's maybe all you need to know from the head coach. He says this: we just thought it was for the best of the team. So maybe his locker room decorum wasn't very good. Kadarius.
Yeah.
He said, we wish Kadarius well.
Okay.
I mean, that seems like, don't let the door hit you on your way out there, young man. That's what it kind of seems to me.
Yeah. The Chiefs have had plenty of interesting characters in the locker room of late.
There's no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt. Somebody says this: NFC is wide open compared to the AFC. Well, I think it's there for the taking. How about that? I don't think in the AFC. I mean, look, you got what the Bills are doing. You got the Chiefs in contention. You got shockingly the Jets. I mean, they're at 5-2. Are they gonna be a team that's 10-4? Or well, it's going to be more than that. But you know what I'm saying? Are they going to be a team with 10, 11, 12 victories? Hard to say because their history says no.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think everybody would say in the AFC right now it's the Bills. That's the best team in the AFC. And then you kind of look at the Chiefs, Titans. It'll be interesting to see kind of how things play out. But I mean, there's a lot of parity too in the AFC as well. A lot of records that are 4-3, 5-3.
I think before it's all said and done, the Bengals will get going again. I mean, it seems like they already have gotten going again. I think they'll be in the mix, but I don't know. Until somebody knocks off Patrick and the Chiefs, it feels like they're the lead dog. Chiefs
are idle this week. Mahomes will be here tomorrow. He'll be honored at halftime, be inducted into the Texas Tech Ring of Honor. That should be a great moment tomorrow night at halftime when they unveil his name. He'll be next to Elmer Tarbox on the side of Jones Stadium on the west side. So that should be pretty cool when they do that tomorrow. And then Mahomes and company will be back in action next week. So he gets a little bit of a respite and gets to see his name put up there forever. That has to be cool, especially at his young age to look at that and go, that thing is going to be there for the next however long that stadium stands. And he'll be able to come back and come back and come back and come back and see it forever and ever and a day. So it should be a lot of fun tomorrow night, and hopefully it's fun on the field too. We'll have it for you tomorrow.
Getting your sports day started the right way. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, breaking down the biggest games.
If Texas Tech does not win the Big 12 football conference, who are you rooting for to win the conference if Tech does not win it this year?
While busting some chops along the way.
I hold back on sending you stuff. I mean, I'm very, very, very judicious.
We spend 3 hours a day, 5 days a week together. Why would we need to communicate during the weekends?
Right.
Save it for the show.
We do. We save it for the show.
Tune into the Morning Drive live weekdays from 6 to 9 on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3.
Today is the last Friday in October. Okay? It's the last Friday. It's the 8th game day Friday of the season. Okay?
It's the 8th Friday of game day.
The 8th Friday of game day, right.
What we said at the beginning of the season that Jeff and I couldn't convince you was the wrong way to say it.
Okay. With this day in sports history.
I got to follow that. Okay, let's see how much.
On this 28th day of October, here is Jeff McGuire.
1934, Brooklyn Dodgers and Pittsburgh Pirates play the very first and only one of only 4 penalty-free NFL games in history. The Dodgers win 21-3 at Ebbets Field.
Wow, penalty-free.
Nice.
1 of 4, and it's the Dodgers and the Pirates in an NFL game.
Okay.
Crazy.
There's a lot in this story that I would like to do a giant deep dive into, but part of it I know, like, there was a while that every NFL team was named after their MLB team, so that you could just be a Cubs fan or a Pirates fan or a Dodgers fan. You didn't have to worry about what sport it was. But then we, figured out that got confusing quickly. 1953, Red Barber resigns as the Dodgers sportscaster to join the Yankees.
To go play for another team.
To go broadcast for the Yankees.
Oh, so he
was the broadcaster.
So he joined the Yankees as their broadcaster.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then
not truly join the Yankees. Join the broadcast crew of the Yankees.
1959, American Football League awards the Buffalo Bills franchise to Ralph C. Wilson. You ever run into him growing up?
I've never met Mr. Wilson, no.
I'm sorry.
Nor a Super Bowl championship.
1961, ground is broken for Municipal Stadium in New York. We know it as Shea Stadium.
Oh, okay.
Meh.
Shea was...
well, we know it as Shea Stadium.
Meh.
It can be a garbage stadium with a garbage team. But
he was the mayor of New York at one point in time, William Shea.
1975, Calvin Murphy of the Houston Rockets begins an NBA free throw streak of 58 consecutive games without a miss.
Gosh.
58 consecutive games. I wonder how many free throws he made in that stretch.
He had the record for a while until, who beat him in the 90s?
It was like 77 or something like that.
1989, Baseball World Series. Oakland A's beat the San Francisco Giants 9-6 at Candlestick Park to sweep the Giants in the earthquake-affected Bay Bridge Series. Dave Stewart was your MVP, along with all of the first responders in the San Francisco area and Bay Area.
No doubt.
1995, Baseball World Series. The Braves beat the Indians 1-0 in Game 6 at Fulcrum County Stadium to win their 3rd title. Braves starter Tom Glavine, the MVP. And in 2012, American Serena Williams wins her 3rd season-ending tennis title, beating Maria Sharapova of Russia 6-4, 6-3 in the WTA Championship decider in Istanbul, Turkey. This is very fitting for today. It's probably a couple of days early, but you've got to get a bunch of these in before Halloween. It's National Chocolate Day.
Okay.
Happy birthday, former Red Raider basketball player John Robertson, 34. Sunday, happy birthday, Texas Tech wide receiver Jakeem Grant, turns 30. hope he gets better for next season.
Mm-hmm.
Back to today, bunch of birthdays. Bill Gates, 67. Julia Roberts, 55. Matt Smith is 40. Joaquin Phoenix, 48. Brad Paisley is 50. Annie Potts is 70. Terrell Davis is 50. Gus Malzahn is 57. Juan Guzman, 56. And Lenny Wilkins is 84 today.
Lenny Wilkins, wow.
And on this day in 1865, Chuck Hines was standing out proud with his chest bold in the pride that
What day has Chuck not done that?
Wow.
construction is completed of the Gateway Arch, a 630-foot high curved stainless steel marking the Jefferson National Memorial at the waterfront of St. Louis, Missouri.
In 1865?
1965.
Oh, 1965. Okay, I thought you said 18. I was
1965.
going to say, man, that's pretty wild technology.
Anytime that his home state of Missouri can do something cool, he's very proud.
Okay.
And that is this day in sports history.
All right, it's time for our secret word. All you have to do is go to doublet973.com when I unveil the secret word, okay? And you'll have a chance to win $10,000 from Double T 97.3 and the Home Zone as we give you a chance here locally to win a big contest. We'll give you a big check for the big prize. All you have to do is enter the secret word at doublet973.com. I will help you with the spelling of it. Commodores is the secret word. Commodores, as in the Commodores. I would love to see the Commodores in concert. Okay? Commodores. 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 Okay?
With the context clues of all the other secret words of the day, do you really think it was at this, as in the singing group?
No, it's probably, some college team out there.
Yeah, it's probably about Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm. Vanderbilt.
Yeah. I bet you they would be good to see, though, in concert.
Yeah, the Commodores. Yeah.
I would enjoy that also.
Yeah, the Commodores. Mm-hmm. When I hear the Commodore, when I think of music, when I think of the Commodores, Commodores, I don't think of Vandy. I think of the Commodores. Okay. Mm-hmm. Commodores is your secret word. Go to doublet973.com. Enter that in, and you could be a winner on November the 18th when we give away the $10,000. You'll come down here, do a little paperwork, grab the right hand of on highest, and take the check out of his left hand, and promptly go to your bank. Okay? And it'll be good. It won't bounce.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it'll be a happy day for you.
Chuck has made sure that check won't bounce.
Yeah.
That's right. I've ensured
He's already
that.
deposited it into Brad's account, so Brad can write the check.
Calvin Murphy, by the way, he is third on the NBA consecutive free throws made list. 78 was his number. He did that now this 56-game streak might have come at a different time, but he made 78 straight between December 27th of 1980 and February 28th of 1981.
Okay, so what's the longest?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. Hey, another little tidbit for a former Red Raider basketball player. I saw this yesterday. Ronald Ross is going to exit the business world in Dallas. Remember, he had left here as a graduate assistant, gone back into the business world. He's going to go back to his hometown of Hobbs and be an assistant basketball coach at the high school.
Awesome.
Okay? Mm-hmm. So good for him. And I think he's teaching science.
Great.
Okay? Teaching science. Right?
Big Ronald Ross fan.
Yeah.
He was one of my favorites.
Yeah, so there you go on that. There's a little walking around knowledge. Raiders Dad says this: Hines is going to help with the spelling only when it's right there in front of me. By the way, I got a little bit of the shakes yesterday when I was reading to the children over at Whiteside, because the teacher on the wall had this spelling bee poster put up. If you get the word wrong, they ding the bell. Like, I just all of a sudden, it just kind of, it all came back to me. If you get the word correct, keep on spelling more words. The last person standing wins. You have to study a bunch of words. That's kind of how they look at it. So, Anyway.
Well, I hope they didn't make you spell anything.
Did not make me spell anything yesterday. Did not make me
They
spell
should be
anything.
very gracious to their guest.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't
Not
make
put
me.
him through a quiz.
They did not put me through any kind of spelling quiz or anything like that. So anyway, so that's that was part of yesterday's activity. Boy, 6:54 this morning here on the morning drive. And speaking of Commodores, I met a former Commodore last night, Dimitri Moore. Played at Vandy, now plays for the Red Raiders.
Nice.
Told me he hit a lot of people last weekend. I said, "Oh, I hope he hit a lot of people this weekend too."
Yeah, it seems like he's been more involved of late, and that's good.
Yeah.
They're kind of increasing the depth. I like that.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk Texas Tech and Baylor. You'll hear it right here tomorrow. We'll have Optimum Game Day live coverage presented by United Supermarkets at 7 a.m. Break down the high school stuff and then take you all the way through the day up to the kickoff, which is at 6:30 tomorrow night from Jones Stadium.
Your morning dose of coffee and sports. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live weekdays from 6 to 9 on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.
Brewer's going to take it with one cut. Oh, my gosh, he got nailed at the goal line by Schooler and completely knocked backwards. He was going into the end zone, it appeared, and Schooler just flat knocked him silly.
The Morning Drive. Don't like what we're talking about? Wait 5 minutes. It'll change.
That's the play Jamie was talking about just a moment ago. Awesome job by Jeff McGuire to pull that out of the archives. There is
Well done, Jeffrey.
Texas Tech beat Baylor that day.
That needed to be in our Hall of Fame folder anyway, so it was a convenient time to get it in there.
Okay.
It's a good one.
Others that are in there, Josh Young's first Major League home run, the Conley catch in the college baseball playoffs, Crabtree, obviously, Zach Thomas, Wes Welker, the Hall of Fame cuts that need to stay.
There's nothing from this show in the Hall of Fame folder, is there?
Oh, no. I mean, I think we've had an entry this week.
It'd be hard not to put Arkansas in there, but you kind of need the setup for it, and that's a little longer than we would want this
Right.
to be.
No, I understand that. I was asked about that last night. What's the Arkansas thing? And so I admitted.
I'm not sure where I put Arkansas in relation to discovering that you can make hot chocolate with milk.
Ooh, no, that one's better.
I think the hot chocolate with milk is better.
Okay.
Not the discovery. The
thinking
discovery
you-
was, but I mean, how proud he was to tell the rest of the world that he had figured out something that everybody else should try. That's the best part. It's always the delivery that makes it the best from Chuck. That was awesome.
The delivery.
That's a good one. I had forgotten about that one.
The
Jeff.
delivery.
I mean, people keep asking me to write this book, top 10 morning drive moments with Chuckisms. Mm-hmm. Yeah, chuckles or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Chuck nuggets or something.
Yeah.
Tidbits. Maybe we should use tidbits.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. David writes in that the Tech Stadium was where the fairgrounds are now before Jones Stadium was built. Okay.
Is it really?
Okay. PJ says, can we get the Crabtree catch call this morning? We need that juju for this weekend. Well, let's see if Jeff can effort that. Jamie, Saturday is the anniversary of yours and mine's single road trip together, and probably what will be the only road trip together that we made for Texas Tech and TCU, in which Tech won in 2 overtimes, 27-24.
I enjoyed it. I had fun. Mm-hmm. Aaron Dickens didn't enjoy it as much.
I was in the press box that day, and
Dickens said, do not ever bring him to the press box ever again.
So Harrell in the shotgun
Here we go.
from the 28 to throw. Goes to the right side for Crabtree. It's caught. He breaks. Oh, he's the worst. Touchdown, Red Raiders. Unbelievable. Touchdown, Red Raiders. Michael Crabtree has done it.
There you go.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
But that was not Alex Torres' triple overtime catch to beat TCU. And you were referencing.
Yeah, that's true. That's the game I was referencing. What year was that? That was that had to be like 2012 or something like that.
Yeah, probably.
I think that was 2012 because that was the Tuberville season
at TCU.
At TCU. So it's not the anniversary of that. Yeah.
What? So it's. I thought you said it was the anniversary of the TCU game.
Yeah, this is at TCU 2016. That was a double overtime game. I think it was a different one. It was a different one.
Well,
that's my fault.
Yeah.
That's my fault.
Mm-hmm.
That's my fault. Okay. Last time these two teams played, Jamie, your starting quarterback was Donovan Smith. Do you have a recollection of how he did that day?
We were terrible against TCU last year.
But this is against Baylor. This is against Baylor last year.
I'm sorry.
This is against Baylor last year.
Sorry, now you got me. My bad.
That's right.
Yep. Last year against Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember how he did. I know it was a good game, and you lost by just a field goal.
Yeah. He was 16 of 24 for 263 yards. Blake Shapen was 20 of 34 for 254. Travis Kuntz had a good day, 5 catches for 115 yards, and Kalen Geiger, neither one of these guys are going to be here on Saturday, 3 catches for 44 yards. But Xavier White had 3 for 23, and you might see quite a bit of him on Saturday.
So.
Yeah.
Hope so. Didn't Kuntz have a long touchdown catch? Like 80-something?
Might have had, yeah. I don't have the box score in front of me.
Down the right sideline.
Travis Kuntz had 117 yards, including a 75-yard scoring strike midway through the fourth quarter that set up the Red Raiders to eventually try to tie the game late on a missed 53-yard field goal as time expired.
So 75, close. That's close to 80.
Yeah, it's close to 80.
It's in the range. Nailed it.
But still, I mean, for a team at that point in time, Baylor was number 8 in the country, and you took them to basically a game-tying potential field goals from 53 yards, and you kind of felt good about that as they lined that up,
and felt good even after the loss that you had played really well against a good team on the road.
Sure, yeah. Absolutely. Do you think it's this close this year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One thing that
sure do think this one could go either way.
One thing that Coach Joey McGuire said last night on his radio show here on Double T 97.3 is that he met with the entire offensive line of Texas Tech and talked to them specifically about Baylor tendencies because he coached previously the outside linebackers.
Yeah.
So that would be
and their defensive front too that he had a lot to do with as well. Different tendencies of all those guys. That's one of the strengths. I feel like the lines are the strength of Baylor, and that's good. That's a good spot to be strong.
No doubt. Talked about how he recruited 95% of that team, helped recruit. I mean, he was involved in. It's not like he was the only guy out there either. I mean, but obviously, if you've got a guy like him with his connections and his rapport with Texas high school coaches and just. He'd be a guy that you'd always want in the room, I think, when players are coming to town just because of his energy and his enthusiasm, and I think people feed off of that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. I do think it's going to be interesting to see who comes out at quarterback, and I think that still we'd be surprised at any point in time that this is anybody but Baron Morton that's going to come out there and play at quarterback tomorrow evening, right? I mean, we're still in that mode, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm shocked, confused, disappointed.
If it's not him.
Or the other part would be like, wow, Tyler Shuck must be really good.
or if it's Donovan Smith, what are they're seeing something here that in practice that we're not seeing on the game when you compare him and Baron Morton. I mean, he's played well. I mean, he's played against tougher teams. Do you think that Morton has been just a little bit more consistent than Donovan?
He's avoided turnovers compared to Donovan. Period.
End of story. Yeah. That's the biggest thing when you look at those when you look at those two. 7:23 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Take your thoughts, comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We get this. I really can't tell how I feel about the game. Nervous but confident. I feel like we could win by 17, but I could also see it being a one-score game, one of those games that brings a lot of hype, and the hype could either flatten us or juice us up. And as big as this game is for us, our fans, etc., we have a massive game next week with TCU. But I don't know that anybody's even looking towards TCU right now.
I think this one's more massive. I mean, the fan base wants TCU more. I get it. But this one's more massive. Got to take care of business at home.
Mm-hmm.
Got to take care of business at home.
If you had your... Because I think I have an easy answer to this. If I have my choice between winning tomorrow or winning at TCU, I'm going to take winning tomorrow.
I'm not.
You're going to take TCU. Okay.
I think almost every Red Raider would choose the TCU game because we hate TCU.
We hate TCU because of the whole cactus stuff and everything else.
No, I hated TCU before the cactus. The cactus just made it convenient.
Okay.
Gave it a logo.
Yeah.
They absorbed the Aggie hatred very, very well.
It's not, it's more desert than cactus.
Right.
Yeah. We added the cactus. They said desert. Yeah.
Hold on to your hats. Have a feeling it'll be a wild ride of a game, but we come out with the W.
I like it. Entertained and happy.
Okay. And then you let the chips fall where they may next week. I see your point. I like walking out of there with a victory. I like walking out of the stadium with a victory.
I get it. If we were including K-State in the mix, you'd say that's the one you want. Red Raiders hate TCU.
No, I know that. I know that. I look at it just from the standpoint of walking out from a home game. I mean, if that's how I looked at that. I see your point. I understand that. I just look at it from the standpoint of I like walking out of there with a smile on my face.
You're tuned in to the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3, recapping the night that was in the world of sports.
That's not to say that they don't respect the run game that you have, but you're talking about one quarterback leading the conference in passing so far this year. And remember, he didn't start the first game.
All right.
Still played a lot, though.
And also bringing some humor to your day.
I just don't want to disappoint you. As much as I disappoint you, I don't want to disappoint you in some things that you expect from me.
Hear the show live weekday mornings at 6 on Double T 97.3 or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is presented by Bizarre Solutions. Call them today for a free cybersecurity audit.
All right, what kind of question do you have for me today that I can't answer?
Well, I think you can. I have complete confidence in you. I'm going to allow you to give me two answers today.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Man, I really got to listen hard then.
Okay, we've done this one kind of before. I like to do it on Fridays before a football game. So we'll do it. We'll do it again. If Tech is going to win tomorrow, okay, and we won't say Baron Morton because that one's obvious, right?
Sure.
Okay. Which guy, or you can give me a couple guys. Which guy? Boy, I just sounded like a New Yorker there, didn't I?
You did. Couple of guys there.
Couple of guys. Give me a couple of guys that you think have to play well if Tech is going to win this football game.
Okay, I think he's got to play well because if he plays well and continues to be a distraction, then that will allow others to get pressure on the quarterback. I'm going to say Tyree Wilson, and I'm going to say Krishan Merriweather on the defense. Offensively, I think Sir Roderick Thompson can have a big day tomorrow. And I hope that Xavier White has a big day tomorrow. And I hope your offensive line plays like they did last week against West Virginia. I don't know that they can withstand the heat that the Baylor defensive line is going to put on them and the oncoming rush. But if they can sustain that and give whomever is at quarterback just a little bit of time, that I think that could be really big for you tomorrow.
Okay. Remember when my parents used to say, give you an inch and you'll take a mile. I let you have an extra answer. And so he gave me 3 or 4 extra answers.
Okay. Jeff.
Are you awake in there?
I am. I'm trying to. It's the
He wasn't moving.
No.
I was like,
I was going.
shock therapy was necessary.
I was trying to think a little bit outside the box and
Okay.
go with a specific offensive lineman, but I think all of them need to play well, so I can't just pinpoint one of them. So that's not an answer that I can give you. So we're going to go with Adrian Fry, and we're going to go with Xavier White.
Why specifically Fry?
He is one of the leaders on your defense, especially in the secondary, and he's finally getting back healthy, which means he's able to do what he can do again. And as good as the Baylor receivers are, he's going to have to play a part in covering some of those guys. And him playing well will enable others. It won't have to do as much, so they can do what they need to do better. I guess is the way it's not the extra cover that people are having to do. So that's why those two guys.
Okay. I guess I feel like with Adrian Fry, others have stepped up in his absence. He played really well on defense, and it's kind of become where he's not as important because others have stepped up. I think
Specifically Malik Dunlap.
I think he's been great. Yeah, I think those guys have done a really good job in the defensive backfield. Okay, I'm going defensive line, but I'm not going Tyree Wilson. I think stopping the run or slowing down the run is the key in this game for the Red Raiders. And so I'm going to my two big guys in the middle, Jalen Hutchings and Tony Bradford. If they're doing their job, taking up blockers, creating havoc in the backfield, Krishan Merriweather is going to have a huge day. Okay? And if they're not doing their job in creating lanes for him to come through and make tackles, then you can see Baylor having more success running the football and those offensive linemen getting to the next level and putting a helmet on Merriweather, and all of a sudden you're not as good defensively as we've seen the Red Raiders specifically against the run. So to me, hands down, slowing down the running game of Baylor is key here. And I think Hutchins and Bradford have been your key run stoppers. I think your defensive backfield has done a good job coming downhill and making plays against the run as well. I really have appreciated their efforts in that, but I'm just going to say those two guys in the middle have to play well.
Okay. Maybe a guy on the offensive line that, because he was cited last week as playing well, was Dennis Wilburn, the center. In terms of helping open things up internally, especially for Taj Brooks last week. And I'm not saying you're going to be able to get the same kind of effort out of Taj that you did last week, but I think that's a key guy.
I was really more thinking of the two tackles.
Okay.
On the outside for the pass rush that Baylor brings in on this, but I didn't want to say just both tackles because that felt like kind of a cop-out answer because those guys seem to play well every game.
Okay. Going back to Baylor in terms of their yards rushing on the year, they averaged 4.7 yards per rush. They average almost 200 yards rushing per game. So that's to back up what you're speaking about. Baylor from an opposition has allowed only 108 yards per ball game. Do you think Baylor has to rush for less than 200? And I'm saying less than 197. I'm thinking about the 150 to 175 range for you to be successful. And do you think you need to be in that 150 range for the Red Raiders to come out on the winning end of things?
Do you need to be at 150?
Yeah.
That you're rushing?
Mm-hmm.
As
a team.
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, with your passing game, I think you have plenty of options. And I mean, with the wide receiver screens to the outside that are just like runs, I mean, no, I don't think you have to have 150 yards rushing to win this game.
They average giving up 233 yards passing per game. You need to be north of that.
Probably.
And Baylor averages 261 yards. I mean, they put up about 458 yards per game on average. They're just out.
They are, no doubt.
What with regards to what the offense needs to do, the saying around here is guns up. We need to keep our guns up and not pointed at our feet so we don't shoot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah.
We cannot turn the ball over this week.
That's every game.
It is.
That's every game. Every single one.
As balanced as these two teams are, one turnover could be the difference in this game by 10 points.
Could be. No doubt. Yep.
Baylor has been outscoring its opponents handily in every quarter. by 21 in the first, by 39 in the second, and by 28 in the fourth. So just kind of keep that in mind that, you cannot allow them to get off to a quick start. Conversely, Tech and its opponents both have 52 points in the first quarter. Tech has done better in the second quarter, outscoring its opponent by 38, but only by 8 in the fourth quarter and only by 13 in the third quarter. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, just a thought on that. Let's see here. JL, give me 2 people. Chuck proceeds to list the full roster. A couple of guys or several guys in an entire unit. Arkansas.
A state that will live in infamy.
Yeah. My hate red for TCU is much bigger than my BU hate. I would rather win tomorrow's game because you're protecting your house. There used to be a fear teams had of walking into the Jones, and a win tomorrow is another step in that direction. Okay. Let's see here. Long playability, say plus 40 yards, run or pass. Who's got the edge here? The one thing I'm specifically worried about, feels like we will be steady tempo, but we will need an outburst every so often too. You've got big play capability.
I think Baylor's got the edge there, though.
Okay.
In the 40-plus yard range.
Okay.
I think you can stop more of them, but that's not your offense. Hasn't been get 40 yards on a play. It's let's get 18, 19 play drives because you're going for it on fourth down.
Who has more fourth down attempts tomorrow?
Yes. The NCAA record for most fourth down attempts tomorrow may be broken at Jones Stadium.
Wow.
And I don't know what that number is, but that would be where I would put money on.
Baylor is 16 of 23 on fourth down. That's 70%. The Red Raiders are 20 of 32, 63%. Tech opponents are 4 of 8 on fourth down, and Baylor opponents are 4 of 10 on fourth down. So is it the battle of fourth down tomorrow?
Hope not.
Yeah.
Hope we're better on first, second, and third.
Yeah.
Your morning blend of sports.
K-State is coming off a big win over Oklahoma. Of course, the Red Raiders off their 37-34 overtime win over number 22 Texas.
And humor.
Sure to tell them that. You suggested that. And, of course, that got a big laugh.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live weekdays from 6 to 9 on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.
Kind of a dreary morning. Kind of slow-paced, kind of dreary tunes this morning to go with the dreary rain and the cold weather.
I don't usually think of happy times when it's raining. Oh, even granted, farmers do. Don't get me wrong. But there aren't many happy rain songs.
Raindrops keep falling on my head?
I said there aren't many. There are some. But generally, when you're thinking about a rain song, it's not then a happy day when it comes to music.
I really hadn't even given it much thought to that. Okay, but you're the music master, so I'll
I Love a Rainy Night is a happy rain song.
Sure, right. Little Lady Rabbit.
Songs about rain, Gary Allan, not so much. Teardrops. No, it's not Teardrops. It's
Raindrops.
No, it's the line is Teardrops, where it's
you...
Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain. Yeah. Not a happy song.
Where do you fall in the rain? You like the rain, right? Sometimes.
As long as I'm not trying to play tennis outside. I mean, I think it's necessary.
You have a squeegee, you have a portable squeegee in your trunk?
I do not have a squeegee in my trunk. Yeah.
Would that be a Christmas item maybe for you to get yourself?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
No.
No,
I'm having to squeegee off the court. It's probably still going to be a little slick and too old to be playing on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Red Raiders and the Baylor Bears will make score predictions at 8:30 with upon further review. And if you want to weigh in with some, you certainly can. Good morning with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Hines. Come to you this morning from the First United Bank Double T 97.3 studio. Something, we've talked extensively about Patrick Mahomes being formally inducted into the Texas Tech Ring of Honor. That will take place tomorrow night at halftime. They'll take the drape off of his name and boom, Patrick Mahomes will be right there on the west side of the stadium. But also tonight, Jamie, Texas Tech is holding its Hall of Fame and Hall of Honor induction ceremonies. This will be tonight at the Overton Hotel and Conference Center. And oh, by the way, if you're on your way down there tonight and you maybe find yourself in the bar area before the activities, you'll see Aaron Dickens and Mike Gustafson giving you a little pregame chat and stuff like that from the Overton today from 3 until 6.
Actually, I've been instructed to make sure we have a shroud over them so that you don't see them, only hear them. They don't want to scare all the Hall of Famers away.
A shroud. But how about this? The Hall of Fame class includes golfer Oscar Florin, basketball players Norman Ruther and Gene Knoll. These are guys that were, not present day, but I think 50s, 60s, kind of in that realm. But really,
it's a ways from.
And I say maybe 60s probably for Norman Ruther and Gene Knoll would be my guess. And Matt Miller goes in from Texas Tech baseball. Mm-hmm. The big leaguer goes in today. Plus from the track and field team, Patience Knight, and then from volleyball, Chris Martin, and also going in tonight is Kevin Curtis.
Cool. Is he going to be there?
I don't know. He is in town, obviously, with the Baylor Bears because he is cornerbacks coach for Baylor. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if he'll be there or not. But I hope he is. I hope he's able to make it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's a cool event. And then they will induct posthumously into the Hall of Honor Tommy McVeigh, who was director of operations at Texas Tech.
Well deserved. For
20 plus years. Absolutely. So Tommy will be inducted tonight into the Hall of Honor.
It's very sad that we're having to do this afterwards. He could have been inducted 20 years ago for what he has meant to the university with regards to the football program with Tommy.
No doubt. I mean, he started with Coach Dykes and continued on through the Coach Wells administration. And my guess is, I don't know. I think he was close to retirement because he was in his 70s.
You would think so.
But I know this. He wanted to see Tech win again. And so, at big levels. So who knows? Maybe he would have gotten I think the guy like Joey McGuire, he would have still been around. Maybe not every day, but there's that energy that Coach McGuire has. I think Coach McVeigh would have wanted to have been a part of that. So that'll take place tonight here in town. So congrats to all those, and certainly don't want that to be unnoted today. So that will be that'll be cool. My understanding is Patrick Mahomes will not be at the dinner tonight. Okay, so if you're angling for an autograph, good luck to you. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, he's going over to Chuck's house to hang out with the young phenom.
Oh, so. Sure, right, yeah. We're
all out of luck. It's all Chuck's fault.
All out of luck. 8:07 this morning. We'll have high school football in the air for you tonight. Big district kind of championship showdown tonight between Lubbock Cooper and Tascosa. That'll be at 6:30 from the Pirates Place on 100.7 The Score. That's a big game. Big game tonight.
Massive. Probably, you would think, will decide the district championship. One more week left in the season, so anything can happen. But yeah, that's a massive one.
And I could not tell you because I think both teams will run it. So probably, I don't know who has the longer spikes, who's able to hang on to the football because, the conditions could be potentially wet. I don't know about sloppy because sloppy would indicate that turf would come up and it would be, muddy and things like that. And I've not walked that field, so I couldn't tell you how secure the turf is, but I'm going to tell you it's probably pretty secure. Okay.
Hope so.
So look for that. Tonight for Friendship, they're down in Odessa. We'll have that for you at 6:30. The kick tonight at 7. And then all the scores on Friday Night Live tonight at 10. And then tomorrow morning, we get your Optimum Game Day Live coverage presented by United Supermarkets, kicked off at 7 a.m. with the Saturday morning quarterback with Garrett Luft and Andres Flores. And those guys, they amaze me with their knowledge each week, from not only the big schools to the small schools to the six-man. So they have all the insight that you're going to want, plus playoff kind of implications and things along those lines. So be looking for that tomorrow morning from the Fraser Alumni Pavilion, part of Optimum Game Day Live, right across the street from Jones Stadium. Kick tomorrow is at 6:30. They do recommend, if you have not done this yet, that you download your tickets and put them into your phone before you go, as opposed to trying to do that at the gate, because there'll be so many people. It's a sold-out game. Connectivity might be a challenge for you. Okay? So
with so many people, right?
With so many people. So just eliminate the problem and just go ahead and do that if you haven't done that already. Tech and Baylor tomorrow. Baylor leads this series 40-39-1. So, man, it's fascinating. You play 80 times and it's that close. Will the game be that close? I mean, the number of times that they've played 3 points or less, 7 points or less, I mean, it's well documented. It's close. And it was close last year. Tech missed a field goal with a chance to tie there at the end. And as a result, Baylor won 27-24. Baylor won the Big 12 championship. And Red Raiders, of course, bowl eligible, went on and then, of course, had a coaching change that had already been announced. So should be fun tomorrow, 8-10. We'll talk some other Big 12 games next and more on Texas Tech and Baylor as well, as the Red Raiders and the Bears play tomorrow night at 6:30. It's 8:10.
You've been listening to the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3. For more from Lubbock Sports Station, go to doublet973.com.